Hi everyone, this is Helloangel.design. Today we are making this beautiful dress step-by-step tutorial. This dress that we are making today, we don't have a button closure at the center back or a zipper at the center back. So I'm going to show you how to adjust your pattern paper so that when you make your dress, it is easy for the child to put on. And I will also show you how to adjust the chest line. Please follow us on all social media platforms, Helloangel.design, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Helloangel.design. Please watch our video. The more you watch, the more you like, the more you comment, YouTube will push us to those who are really interested on watching our video, and we can get more traction on YouTube. Continue to watch, continue to like, and we appreciate each and every one of you, those who have subscribed and those who are not yet to subscribe. Please subscribe to our YouTube, Helloangel.design, and let's get right to this tutorial. This is the front basic pattern paper and this is the back basic pattern paper. My pattern paper already include 1 centimeter seam allowance. What we are going to do, we are going to adjust the pattern paper. I will remove the back pattern paper and let's adjust the front pattern paper. First thing that you have to do, from the side seam, you're going to take a measurement. Place your measuring tape like this. You measure down 5 centimeter from the side seam. So this is my 5 centimeters right here. Once you take that measurement, what you are going to do, you pick your armhole curve. You are going to connect from the chest line all the way down to that 5 centimeter measurement that you take. I have connected down. This is how it is. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to add a little bit of ease at the side seam of our pattern. So you place your measuring tape like this. You measure that 1 centimeter like this. You can add 1 centimeter. You can add more than 1 centimeter. So I will come down to this other side. I will add 1.5 centimeter. So 1 centimeter from here and 1.5 centimeter from here. So what you are going to do, you are going to connect it down like this. I have connected down. This is how it is. The next thing that you have to do, you can go ahead and cut out your pattern paper. This is my back pattern paper. So what we are going to do, we are going to take the same measurement that we take at the side seam of our front pattern paper. So you place your measuring tape like this. You measure down 5 centimeter or 2 inch. Once you take that measurement, the next thing that you have to do, from the chest line, you place your armhole curve like this. You can see the way I place my armhole curve. You are going to connect it down like this. Once you have connected down, the next thing that you have to do, from the side seam, you are going to add ease. From here, I'm going to add 1 centimeter. At the bottom, I'm going to add 1.5 centimeter. Once you place that measurement, take your ruler and connect it down. I have connected down. This is how it is once you have done that. From the neckline, I'm going to adjust the neckline because this top dress that we are making, it is not going to have a zipper at the center back or a button closure at the center back. So you want the neckline to be a little bit bigger. So I will place my measuring tape like this at the neckline. I'm going to measure down 3 centimeter is right here. Once you take that measurement, the next thing that you have to do, you are going to connect from your original neckline. You connect it down to the 3 centimeter that you measure. I have connected down. This is how it is. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to take our scissors and cut it out. I have cut out my front and back pattern paper. This is how it is. This is the front and this is the back pattern. I'm using 2 different kinds of fabric. You can use any fabric of your choice. So what we are going to do, we are going to place our front pattern on this fabric and cut it out. I have pinned my front pattern paper on my fabric. This is how it is. From the chest line, add about 0.5 inch or 1.3 centimeter. Depends on the seam allowance that you want to add to join your skirt together. Make sure you add that seam allowance from the chest line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my scissors and cut it out. I have pinned my back pattern paper on my fabric, and from the chest line, I also add 0.5 inch or 1.3 centimeter. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my scissors and also cut out the back pattern paper. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to cut out our skirt. So the length of my skirt is going to be 19 inches or 48 centimeters. So I will place my measuring tape like this. I'm going to measure that 19 inches or 48 centimeters. When you are taking the width of your skirt, you open your top dress like this. You take the total width of your top dress, chest line or waistline, times that by 2. The measurement that you get, that will be the width of your skirt. So I'm going to measure the length of my skirt is 19 inches or 48 centimeters is right here. I will just go ahead and measure it around. Once I am done with that, I will take my scissors and cut it out. I have cut out my front skirt fabric. This is how it is. The next thing that you have to do, you place the bottom of your front pattern. I write it here, center front. So you just place it like this and you secure that with a pin. Once you have done that, all you have to do is to just go ahead and trace it all out like this. Or if you can't trace it all out, you can just place your ruler. You just go ahead and connect it together. I have used my marker to trace it all out. The next thing that you have to do is to take your scissors and cut it out. I have cut out my back skirt. This is how it is. What you are going to do, you pick your front skirt, place it on your back skirt like this. So you just place it together like this. What you are going to do, you are going to use the front as a pattern to cut it out. So I will just go ahead and place a few pins on my fabric. Once I am done with that, I will take my scissors and cut it out. First thing that you have to do, you open your front top dress. This is the front of my top dress and this is the back. I use my marker to mark that so that I know that this is the back of my top dress. Put the both front fabric together. Take it to your sewing machine. Run a straight stitch on the shoulder seam. Once you have done that, take it to your overlocker. Overlock the both raw edges. Once you have done that, make sure to cut a bias binding. So this is my bias binding. I just join them together. I will take it to my sewing machine and run a straight stitch all around. I have top stitched the shoulder seam. This is how it is. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to use our bias binding to bind the neckline and the both armhole. So take your top dress to your sewing machine. Go ahead and use the bias binding to bind around the neckline and then the both armhole of your top dress. I have used my bias binding to bind the neckline and the both armhole. This is how it is. Once you have done that, I take it to my ironing board. I give it a nice good press. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to stitch the side seam of our top dress. What you are going to do, you turn your dress like this. You put the both side seam together like this. Take it to your sewing machine and run a straight stitch. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. And then you come down to this other side. You repeat the same process. Put the side seam together and run a straight stitch. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Once you have done that, take it to your overlocker. Overlock the both side seam raw edges. The next thing that you have to do, you are going to put your skirt together. Put the both front fabric together. We are going to stitch the side seam. Take it to your sewing machine and run a straight stitch all the way down. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. And you come down to this other side. You repeat the same process. Put the side seam together. Run a straight stitch all the way down. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Once you have done that, take your skirt to your overlocker sewing machine. Overlock the both side seam raw edges. I have top stitched the side seam of my top dress. I take it to my overlocker, overlock the raw edges. This is how it is. And I've also stitched my side seam skirt together. I overlock the raw edges. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to gather our skirt at the waistline of our top dress. All you have to do, go ahead and gather your skirt at the waistline of your top dress. Take it to your sewing machine and top stitch. Once you have done stitching, take it to your overlocker, overlock the raw edges. I have top stitched my skirt at the top dress. This is how it is. Once you have done stitching your skirt, you can see how beautiful this dress is turning out. And I take it to my overlocker. I overlock all the raw edges. As you can see, this is how it is. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to hem our skirt. So what you are going to do, you take your skirt to your overlocker sewing machine. You overlock all the raw edges, which I have done. And I also take it to my ironing board. I just fold it along where I overlock all around, and then I fold it again. This is 2.5 centimeter or 1 inch. I will take it to my sewing machine and run a straight stitch all. Once you have done that, that will be the final look of your dressmaking, and I will come back here and show you the final look of my dress. I have hemmed my dress. This is how it is. Once you have done hemming your dress, you can see how beautiful that is. And I used the opportunity to place a lace at the chest line and stitch it all around. This is the final look of my dressmaking. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Comment down below if you have any question. I will do my best to respond to you. And also follow us on all social media platforms, Helloangel.design, and have a wonderful day. Bye.